Hey everybody, and welcome to the 411 at West Texas Rehab here on our digital sites. How is everybody? How are you?
We're good.
Great. So this is Miss Suzanne.
Yes.
Thanks for coming on today.
Yeah.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Yes, we had a few things happen recently.
Just a few.
Just a few. Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, y'all, we all went through this storm.
Correct.
But y'all had some pretty good damage at your building.
Yes. All of the community certainly suffered together, but unfortunately at West Texas Rehab, we had a pretty significant water break and that caused some very significant damage to our clinical facility. And this was all happening it started on February 16th when, no power, no water, and we were not seeing patients that day because of the weather and because we had a power outage, so nobody was in the facility, and we had a pipe break in our fire suppression system that is above the ceiling. And so unfortunately, because of all of those things going on, nobody was actually in the building, so water ran for a while. When our facilities director finally went to the facility and opened up the area, we call it ground zero, which is audiology. I mean, there was up to 2 feet of water coming out, just gushing out.
That's quite a bit.
It was insane. So, and along with it, equipment and laptops and hearing aids and everything else were rushing out. It was pretty crazy. So, but we're blessed as an organization. We have great staff, we have great leaders, and we all came together and did what we needed to do to assess and move on. So, but because of that, we've had quite a bit of changes in the way we're having to do patient care, patient treatment. And like I mentioned, because audiology was ground zero, and they are one of the departments with the most technology. They were really hit hard. So not to mention, of course, pediatrics, speech, adult services as well. We're all affected because it flooded our entire facility. So we called in damage specialists. They actually had to come in from Houston because it was such a large claim. It was such a large scope, and because of the roads and the weather and everything else, they had a little delay in getting here. So that delayed things as far as the cleanup, but we were able to come together as a staff over the weekend and get things cleaned up the best that we could, moved around so they could start assessing and doing what they needed to do. And they actually, we say the cavalry arrived Friday evening and showed up from Houston with their big damage specialist trucks and started going to work. So over the weekend, they were able to dry out as much as they could and get the carpet ripped out and start that process. And so our chief operating officer's goal was for us to be up and running for patient care on Monday morning, whatever that looked like. And believe it or not, we were able to do that. So this past Monday, we reopened for patient care, and we're managing. So
I was about to say, if anything, if 2020 taught us anything, the first few months of 2021 is how to adapt. And still get those services,
adjust, and overcome.
Exactly.
So, and that is what we have done. So, just to give everybody in the community a little update as far as that goes, several of our patient care departments have actually moved over into our administrative offices, which is the office or the building next door to the clinical building. And so, those of us that work in the administrative office have moved out of our offices and out of the conference room, and so they are able to do occupational therapy, women's health, and speech over in our building. So that's great because it's a fairly new building and set up, and they got everything working, and so they're running up and running. Our audiology department that I mentioned that was hit the hardest, they actually are moved down to the other end of the building, but because all of their equipment was damaged, they are not up up and running 100% for patient care. There are some things that they can do, check and cleans, some fittings, but as more of their equipment gets replaced, that will change. That's kind of a daily change. But they do so much with technology, and because it was all destroyed, it's a matter of getting it replaced and getting it set up to work again. So we definitely ask that our audiology patients have patience with us, and just understand that we are doing everything we can to get up and running for them. Speech has, like I mentioned, has moved over to our building. Orthotics and prosthetics, which was at the other end of the building from where the damage started, was not affected near as much, and so they are actually able to open up and run as normal, which is a blessing. Our adult physical therapy department is up and running as well. And then our pool, unfortunately, has had to be closed or will be closed, and our pace setters, which is our fitness gym, is also closed, and that's because of the damage to the equipment and just not being able to replace it at this time. So it definitely looks a little different. There's a lot of construction, and we have ventilation, air ventilators throughout the entire facility, sucking that air out and getting everything, aired out and dried out. They have started cutting into the sheetrock to get that aired out, dried out, and then we'll start the daunting task of going through and rebuilding. And but like I said, we're blessed as an organization. We do have great insurance, which is great. So helpful during all of this. We have great supporters, we have great community support, and we have great patients that, it's just been so remarkable to see this week when you just didn't know how people were going to react. Do they want to still come for their care? Are they going to be, a little bit concerned, or is it going to turn them off? No, they show up because they know that we're the best place to get that care, no matter what it looks like.
Just a few things on the walls here
I'm
and
so
there.
sorry for the way it looks and the appearance, and it's loud, and the air is circulating, and the temperatures are a little bit wonky in different areas, but it's clean and it is safe, and so that's the most important part.
Those are the two biggest things,
of course. And so we're gonna rebuild, and we're gonna get there, and us as an organization, we talk about when it's all said and done, we're gonna have new flooring and new paint and new walls and an upgrade to our facility that
looking at the bright side.
Yes, it's gonna be, in the end, it's gonna be wonderful.
That is
we
fabulous.
Just can't thank people enough for sticking with us and supporting us through all of this. We've had so many people in the community reach out to all of us and say, how can I help? What can I do? It's so humbling, and it just makes you feel good. And so we're gonna be okay. So really, I just want the community to know that we are up and running. It may look a little different. Where you are normally getting treated, maybe in a different building, but for the most part, other than the few departments that are just waiting on new technology and new equipment, and we're treating patients. So
that's amazing. That's amazing. Talk about San Angelo strong, and really West Texas strong, Texas strong. Everybody, coming together. It's like you said.
Yes.
May be a little tad bit different than what you're used to.
Just a little bit different, and it is definitely been an adjustment. But it's also like I said, it's been very humbling to see how it's all just it's worked out, and I know that there are people in this community that were hit hard as well. We're not the only ones, and our heart goes out to them, and we we're there to help them as well. We want to give back to those that have given to us. So I forgot to mention our hospice department. Of course, hospice, our building is almost complete. Our new hospice building is almost complete, and they'll be moving in very soon, hopefully April. And so, but they were out on the streets, driving to these, to the patients' homes and taking care of families just like we always would, risking, the ice and the snow and everything, but that's what we do. So big shout out to them. And they're not physically in our building, yet. So it's not that we forget about them, but they're not there physically.
Yeah, but they're out working. And
they are, and they didn't. Nothing has stopped for them through COVID, through through all of this, they're still, doing their jobs and taking care of patients, and we're thankful for them.
Yeah.
So, but
that's just fabulous.
Yeah.
I'm glad, first of all, to get this update, but
Yes.
to just know that, y'all are still doing what you do.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, we're going to kind of backtrack for those of you who may not know anything about West Texas Rehab.
Sure.
Let's kind of start over.
Okay.
Let me have your name.
That's a great
do?
idea. Yeah. So I'm Suzanne Click. I'm the marketing director at West Texas Rehab, going on 16 years with the organization. We're an outpatient rehab facility. We have locations in San Angelo, Abilene, and Ozona. We see children and adults. And we have a lot of departments under one roof.
I was about to say, you named a lot
of them. Yeah. Physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, orthotics and prosthetics. We have employer services, we have audiology, and we have hospice, all under one roof. And so we see between our three facilities over 650 patients a day.
Wow.
And we do all of that with a mission of taking care of patients regardless of financial circumstance. And we are a nonprofit. We've been around for 68 years, and it's just an amazing, wonderful organization, and we've got great staff. And I always say that no matter what diagnosis brings you to us, you're going to get the best care that you could possibly get anywhere in Texas or the United States, right here in San Angelo, Abilene, and Ozona.
Yeah. And you said the word care, of course that comes in, with the therapy part, but caring, as individuals.
Yes.
Y'all really have a lot. You're genuinely, you genuinely care about your patients.
Yes. We, all of our staff, from the secretaries to the clinicians to the therapists, they all have servants' hearts. They truly want to be there. And it really has shown more and more as of late with all of that we're dealing with. We've all come together, and because we love West Texas Rehab, and we love being able to say that we're taking care of people that need us.
Yeah.
So not turning people away. And we're just blessed. So it's a great organization. We have a website that you can go onto to find out about any of those services, westtexasrehab.org. And you can find out all kinds of information. And as a nonprofit organization, we have lots of fun events throughout the year where people have an opportunity to come together and give back to West Texas Rehab at a fun event. And so look for those. Those are, COVID had certainly changed those as well. We had to cancel events, and we had to reimagine, and we've got an amazing donor relations team that has just done remarkable through all of it. Fundraising in 2020, now 2021 is a challenge. But again, we're blessed as an organization, and people support us because they know that we're doing great things. So. Yeah.
Definitely. That is amazing. And that website that you mentioned is on your screen right there, and the phone number as well. So definitely call if you have questions.
Yes.
Check out the website. Y'all are really active on your social media pages.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
We
so
are
there's
on
a lot of ways.
Social media. That's definitely a way to get involved and share what we do and let people know. So.
Fabulous. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. This was great. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have any final thoughts or messages that you want to share with everybody?
Just again, thank you for your support as a community, to the public for sticking with us, to our patients, to our referral sources. And we just really appreciate all of you, and all of your thoughts and prayers are heard, and we thank you.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Great message. Thank you again so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate it. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. Have a great day, everybody.
Take care.